My name is Ronaldo Moe with PPG, and if you are a new viewer, welcome aboard. For my existing viewers, welcome back. I guess you can tell by the thumbnail what this one is about. I got a top 5 residential mechanical code violation list. You know, with this heat wave going on right now, I'm sure a lot of my viewers out there are probably getting new units installed. Put together a top 5 residential mechanical code violation list. These are the things you should be looking for if you are getting a new unit installed. With this heat wave going on, I figure now is a good time to put this one out. So hope you guys get something from this, and I'll see you again on the next one. Okay, now the AC condenser itself must be elevated minimum 3 inches above grade. Now this one is already sitting on a concrete slab, but they chose to put it on a plastic pad anyway. They really didn't have to, but it must be elevated a minimum 3 inches above grade. That is for the whole condenser, around the whole condenser, not just one side. Okay, the disconnect, the condenser disconnect, which is right there, cannot be directly behind the AC condenser. You have to give that disconnect the same amount of clearance as an electrical panel. All right, let's talk locking access port caps. Those magenta, I think that's magenta, but these locking caps, that's for the refrigerant lines. They've been in the code book now probably over 10 years, I think. They actually got put in the code because young adults were sniffing refrigerant, getting high, and dying. So that's how these got into the code. And different colors, they mean the different things depending on which refrigerant you're using. You might get a blue or green, but definitely locking access port caps. All right, when you have multiple air conditioning systems, multiple air conditioning condensers, it's a good idea to label them so you'll know which is which. You know, upstairs, downstairs, you can go, you know, just get your a label, permanent marker, I don't know, A and B, upstairs, downstairs, Z, E, whatever the case is. But when you have multiple condensers, multiple air conditioning systems, you really need to label these units. Makes it easier for the technician. And this is probably the one that I get more controversy out of right here. That oversized breaker. You wouldn't believe the amount of comments I get about this nameplate and this number, this oversized. I'm gonna zoom in on it if I can here. But you see what that, there's a minimum and a maximum. Okay, I get more comments about this particular violation. It's not so much a violation as a manufacturer's installation instruction. That minimum and maximum is there for a reason. That breaker cannot exceed the max for this unit. If this unit says 40 or 50 or whatever it is, the breaker back at the panel cannot exceed that. Now, if you have a disconnect with a fuse, that's a different story. If this disconnect here has a fuse in it and it's equivalent to the max on this nameplate, then that's fine. But in most situations, and I've done a lot of inspections this year, I rarely come across a disconnect with a fuse disconnect. I just don't see them anymore, which is not a fuse. I rarely see fuse disconnects. But like I said, if there's a fuse on that disconnect and it doesn't exceed that maximum, you're fine. But if it does, there's a problem. And if the breaker at the panel exceeds that number as well, there's a problem.